morning, Game Changers. This is day 10 of the COVID-19 support sessions, daily sessions that we do every day at 9 a.m. And as I've shared yesterday, today we have a co-host, a co-host who is very passionate about human behavior, about change, about transformation. And I brought her in because when we go through uncertain times like this one, what we are going through, the pandemic and then the lockdown, and then in Botswana, we have just had yesterday, the country declared emergency for 6 months, and it means another 6 months of uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen between now and that 6 months. So one of the things that happened is that our emotions are going to go up, first because of what's going on, but secondly, we find ourselves confined to one place, confined to our loved ones. Sometimes we're not used to spending 24 hours from morning to night with them in the same room, and depending on our economy of scale, sometimes it's in a 2-bedroom, it's in a 1-bedroom, and emotions are going to really fly up. We are going to start feeling all sorts of things, and the question is, how do we manage these emotions so that we are able to we're able to coexist and we're able to make the best out of this break that nature has forced on us. Really, the universe has just pressed pause for everyone, whether you want it or not. And this is why I saw it fit to bring in, an emotional intelligence expert who can come and give us and teach us, briefly about emotions and how we can harness them, in times of change or when we are under pressure. And let me welcome Game Changers, Bonolo Phalaagae, so that he can, continue with this session. Bonolo, you are welcome. May you just greet them and then go into your session for today.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm so excited to be here. Good morning, Game Changers. It's Easter Friday, and it doesn't feel like it because of what is going on. But thank you so much, Malecha, Hana Lecha. I call her ma'am, I call her sis, I call her coach, because for giving me this opportunity. I always get excited when I am given a chance to share a bit about emotions, because I believe it's one tool and it's one aspect of our lives that we were never taught. And so whenever I'm given a chance to share, it's really, really interesting to me and exciting. Okay, I think I'm gonna move right along. Ladies and gentlemen, I was hoping for a live session to interact with you more, but I believe we'll interact later. Let me just say, it's very, very important for us and relevant for us to be talking about emotions at this time when it's so difficult, when it's tough for everyone. Like Hannah just said, when the universe pressed pause, on everyone, it's very, very important for us to talk about emotions. As I mentioned, it's something our formal and informal education are so silent about, and maybe how the emotions were maybe the few times we do talk about emotions is when maybe you are emotional and somebody says to you, don't be emotional. Maybe you are crying because you've lost a loved one. Maybe you are crying because some things are just not going right, and then somebody tells you not to be emotional. Oh, wow. But I hope that as I talk to you this morning, you will see yourself somewhere. I hope that you can catch yourself. I hope that you find yourself. And most importantly, I hope that you be empowered to manage your precious gift, being emotions. Many of us, when they fully understand what emotions are, they realize they are so gifted. So I also would be very, very happy if you are empowered to lead yourself from here after really understanding what emotions are, what they are about, and how you can use them even during this trying time. We need to talk about self-leadership in these times. We need to talk about leading self. You know, leadership is a word that is in everybody's mouth. But whenever we talk about leadership, it's like it's so external. It's about other people. It's our leaders of this country, the leader of this house. It's never about us. But you know, you realize that you lead yourself. Wherever you are in life, you lead yourself. So we need to talk about self-leadership, where we can take a full responsibility and accountability of being the best version of ourselves, and being intentional about it, learning the skill of intentionally designing our lives such that we can be in a place we want to be in. And what a trying time for the higher world. What a trying time, particularly for Botswana. I believe I've never experienced this. I'm in my early 40s. I've never done a family. What a time for the business community. Some probably feel you knew the law better. Oh my God, I wish I knew the law better, especially after meeting Mama Abane, the special parliamentary meeting. Maybe many of us felt I wish I understood the Constitution much better. Excuse me. Maybe you feel like you understood virology better. Maybe you feel like you were a doctor. I don't know how you felt watching that meeting, but I know a whole lot of us were watching. We were glued to our and be part of what is going on, be on board, as our futures were kind of determined in that meeting. I don't know how you felt, but I know it's just a reality. We live in a world of dichotomy where you are either that side or this side. If you are this side or that side, it's the world of duality. Big or small, short or tall, all that income, expenditure, debit, credit. So per time you're wondering, or you want to be a beautiful time to be given a break by the state. For some people, I don't know, the much needed break. I mean, this is a position here about time to bond with your family. What a time to be able to push that paperwork, to draw that proposal, that business plan, write that book, and finish all that. What a time! What an opportunity to reset and revitalize and review goals, review objectives, review whatever you want to review. What a time! Oh my God, something here happened, so I'm going to do this quickly. Okay, what a time. I mean, for some people, it's a beautiful time. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, well, it's my first time to enjoy home like this. I'm like, oh, okay. So, yeah, for some, you'll prosper even during this dry season. It can be a dry season to some, but it will be really a prosperous season for some. What a time! But today I want us to talk about emotions, just to see how they can help us to cope. I know, like yesterday, we were looking at what an emotional display. I mean, you could see how the behaviors in the house. You could see really how the pressure, and I don't know, like, oh my God, why did I say this? Why did I behave in this way? I don't know, but I was just wondering, is it just okay what they did? And you know, you maybe you wonder sometimes why, you know, different things make you feel a certain way. And sometimes maybe you wonder why something that makes you so angry doesn't anger the next person. And you wonder why. You know, you probably know someone who is not even shaken by this pandemic. You probably know someone who is enjoying the extreme social distancing, who is excited about the current situation where we should really try and stay home. And, you know, if we meet, we need to maintain a certain distance, you know, to avoid the virus, you know. And you probably know someone who wants to run away to a women's shelter, to a men's shelter, to Moraka, someone who wish they could go to work and, you know, get those 8 hours away from home. You probably know someone, well, it's very clear that, you know, their relationship it's been really maintained by the 8 hours of production time. Someone who really needs that break from home. I don't know, but these are the things that we see. So I can go on and on about that, you know, feelings, behaviors, actions, thoughts, results, and all that, but I want to introduce you to something called emotions. You know, during this time, which might be devastating or exciting, this is one of the tools we need to keep our calm. We need the skill of managing emotions. I want to just first, you know, try and, you know, define emotions. Scientifically, they say they are electrochemical signals from the brain or messages or signals from your brain as a sensation to your body. Some people would share with me, or, you know, when I'm angry, you know, something moves from my stomach up to my throat, and I can't even talk anymore. Some say, you know, I'll be so sweaty, I'm shaking, I'm what? So I don't know what your experience is like. These messages, do you hear your body talk to you? Do you hear your brain sending you signals to tell you about your internal or external environment? It could be your internal environment because it could be something that is within you. It could be your external sin. So the question is, do you receive these messages? Do you recognize them? Are you able to decode them? Are you able to give feedback? Do you respond or react as you get these messages? Anyway, and then there's this term that maybe people, emotional intelligence, but I'm just going to break it down. Intelligence just meaning you know, but you know, the ability, cleverness, or whatever capacity, acumen, whatever you call it, to manage emotions. So it's just, you know, that skill of managing how you feel, you know, the cleverness to manage how you feel. So that is what emotional intelligence is, or the ability to interpret our own feelings. When you feel in a certain way, and you feel somehow right now. Right now, you feel somehow. I don't know if you are able to correctly identify how you feel. If you are asked, how do you feel right now? Would you say it out in one word to say, I feel, or just say it? I don't know. But these are the questions that you want to ask yourself as you pursue this. I didn't ask Hannah How much time do I have? My camera keeps falling. Bear with me. I didn't ask Kanako. I think I made a big mistake, but I think she will come in to just clarify that. But for now, I'll just continue. So let's move right along. Emotions. These are the things that I've learned. Or our emotions are at the center of everything we do or don't do. Our actions or inactions depend on how we feel or our emotions. If you don't feel like it, you won't do it. You know how you execute a task perfectly when you feel it, when you feel like doing it. But you also know how you don't fully apply yourself when you don't feel like doing something. So our emotions, to a larger extent, regulate our energy levels. Our emotions regulate our level of creativity to a larger extent. How well do you understand your emotions? What are your dominant emotions? During this difficult time, during this trying time, in a day, in a given day, what emotions do you feel mostly? What are your dominant emotions? This is a good question to ask. What triggers your dominant emotions during this time? How do you deal with negatively charged emotions? How do you deal with emotions like anger, sadness, all that? I mean, how do you deal with that? And maybe around this time, you would want to ask yourself this question: what is the emotional climate of my home or my workplace? If you are essential service and you are at work, what is the emotional climate? You look at how you are feeling most times. How do you feel? What exactly do you feel, and what triggers those feelings? These are the questions that you'd want to ask yourself as you want to understand your emotions or how you feel. You see, you start with a situation. You see or hear something. It can be real or it can be imagined, but either way, you are going to definitely focus your attention on this situation. Number 3, you're going to give it meaning by evaluating it or interpreting it. And then it makes you feel like a certain way, and you are going to behave a certain way as you respond or react. So that's how you generate emotions. You first start with the situation where you actually see something or hear something that is real or imagined. You focus your attention on it. You evaluate it or interpret it, and eventually give it a meaning to say, this is a threat, or this is something beautiful. This is something I'm going to enjoy. This is something I've been anticipating. You are interpreting that situation. You are giving it meaning. And then once you've given it meaning, once you've interpreted it, you then respond or react. So the question is, do you want to be responding to how you feel, or you want to be reacting? Usually people who react, the heat of the moment. Those people who just go like that. And those who respond want to process what they see first and see or determine how they want to respond. Okay? So there are what we call basic emotions. There are about 8. I'm just going to quickly go over them and maybe pick 2 which we can deal with to show you how we manage emotions or we process them. Managing emotions means processing them. When you feel anger, which is one of the emotions, the main thing that you want, or the tools that you need, are tools that help you process that anger such that it dissipates, or you don't want to be angry for long. So we need to learn the skill of processing the anger and, for it to dissipate. If you have a positive emotion like joy, you want to also process that emotion such that you can maintain the joy. So yeah, I'm just going to go over those basic emotions. There's joy, there's trust, there's anticipation, there's surprise, there's disgust, anger, there's sadness, and there's fear, and depending on how long we entertain them, or how long we fail to process them. If you remain angry for a long time, rage, rage, and as they intensify, there's a point where you need now external intervention to process them, and in worst cases you need therapy. So those are the basic ones: joy, trust, anticipation, surprise, disgust, anger, sadness, and fear. I want to pick but then let me just maybe talk about joy, which is a positive emotion. Please also realize that emotions can be positive or negative. Some can be kind of both, because it really depends. An emotion like anticipation, if you are anticipating, you are looking forward to something. Now the question is, whatever you are looking forward to, is it a good thing or a bad thing? So you see, it can be negative or a positive. So as we go along, just think about them that way. So an emotion like joy, you'd want to continue to be joyous, right? You want to be joyous all the time. So you want to know how you can maintain your joy. But the question is, what positive thing is coming, or good thing is going on, actually going on, not coming. Coming is when you're anticipating. But when you are joyous, you want to process that joy, to ask yourself, to say, what good thing or positive thing is going on right now that's making me so joyous? How can I maintain it? And then to maintain the joy, you want to ask yourself, what makes me happy? What is it that is making me so happy right now? How often do I do it? How often do I want to do it because I see it makes me happy? What are the various ways I can do this thing? That's how you question an emotion. You question an emotion, and the more you question the emotion, the more you get clarity at that emotion. It gets clear that there is something that is going on, and it's making you joyous, and you want to maintain it. And then you can actually even see more what makes you joyous, what makes you happy. We have to be alert and present to really pick what we feel per time. So that's basically how you want to do it. And what are you thankful for? It's one of the things joyous. I'll pick trust, which is an emotion that is, it can go either way. I like what Dr. Frank Crane said. You may be deceived if you trust too much, but you will live in torment if you do not trust enough. And I think, when you deal with someone and they don't trust you, you can pick, like, their countenance kind of talks to you. They may not say, you know what, I don't trust you, but you can pick. You can pick, or muto can't trust. You can pick. So you live in torment if you do not trust enough, But then with trust, you'd want to ask questions like, who do I connect with? What do I connect with? Why is it important to me? We live in a very, very volatile world where trust is becoming more and more difficult, yet we cannot live without it. So we need to establish our point of connection, which leads to trust. What are some of the things that you are looking for in a person who you want to connect with and trust? Those are the things that you want to you want to be clear with. Person that you trust, why do you trust them? The more you get reasons why you trust certain people in your life, the more you get clarity, your point of connection. And but Tobana, do you trust them because they have, like, you share a value system? These are the things. And now we are, I don't know if I should say lockdown, but in so many countries it's a lockdown. But for Botswana, it's the official term is extreme social distancing. But if they say we should stay home more, then really feels like a lockdown. I don't know if after this extreme social distancing, if things go bad, we'll then go into lockdown or what. But then these are the issues, even as you are at home with your family. Do you trust them? Do you trust everyone at home or not? If you trust someone at home, why do you trust them? What's your point of connection? Think about all that. Ask yourself questions, then you know you get clarity. Anthony Robbins once said, the quality of your questions determines the quality of information you get from someone. You ask pertinent questions, you get quality information, you see. So yeah, I've sampled a positive emotion. I've sampled an emotion that could go kaha kana kaha. So I want to look at an emotion that is it's negative, and we need to be quick to dissipate that emotion, and that is anger. Around this time, where we have to face our family members 24/7, around this time where we have to share space, around this time when we are not only here, because it's a weekend or because we are on holiday, around this time when there is, a virus, all over the place, and we need to behave in a certain way. Anger, many people trigger anger. It could be from a family member who keeps going outside, who keeps going to the shops, who keeps going like it's business as usual. They want to go check a friend, they want to go, and when they come back, it's also your responsibility to remind them to sanitize, to clean up, to what many people are the constant emotion is anger around this time, and anxiety, anticipation. Those three emotions, we trigger them quite easily during this time. So Jim Rohn said, no one else makes us happy. Angry. We make ourselves angry when we surrender our control of our attitude. I know it's difficult. It's difficult to really, look at it that way and say, can I own the anger to say, it's me, it's me who make myself angry. It's difficult to look at it that way. But when you are angry, when you've triggered anger, these are some of the questions that you want to ask yourself. What is blocking you? What is blocking your way? Where do you want to go? What options do you have? We trigger anger mostly when we think we do not have options. We trigger anger when we think we do not have options. But I'm thinking about a current situation where if we have a family member who keeps going out of the yard, this your home right now. This is probably your only home, because someone may say, as an option, move to a safer place. You may not have, that alternative place, but we always have options. But during this time, it's really, really difficult. Like I've given that example, so it can be tough. So we're going to really have to learn the skill of processing these emotions, such that we can, be in a better space and actually enjoy our time with our families. So anger, though, I could say it's a protective mechanism. In trying to protect yourself, you may engage in destructive behaviors and harm yourself or harm others. That's the unfortunate part of anger. Or if we are not able to process it, we may, really even drift further away from, what we desire, with our behavior. So it's really one of those emotions that we really, really have to be quick to identify and to be quick to to dissipate. So remember that you experience a diminishing focus when you are negatively charged. You can't, when you are in there, in the heat of the moment, it may be totally difficult for you to be reasonable. That we should know. But as we raise our level of awareness, we know, and we have some degree of control even during the heat of the moment. That you kind of shorten your heat of the moment. If it's been five minutes, the more you understand yourself, the more you are able to correctly identify your emotions, the more you can shorten your heat of the moment. I hope you get me, dear friend. Oh, game changers. So it's important to remind yourself of the results you want to create, so that you don't engage in a behavior that takes away from those results, which is what normally happens when you feel angry. When you feel angry and you are not able to control the anger, that's exactly what you'd like it to take away from the desired results. Okay, so basically that's how you process an emotion, questioning the emotion so that you are able to correctly identify it, and because you'll be there present now, recognizing the emotion. If it's a negative one, you are able to dissipate the emotion. It dissipates when you realize, oh, I feel angry. What makes me feel this way? The moment you identify all these things and you get clarity, it dissipates, and then it gives you a chance to now respond. Okay? Same as a positive emotion. Why do I feel so joyous? As you ask yourself those questions, you get clarity. Now, with a positive emotion like joy, it's not going to be sustainable. Even if you question it, it's not going to be sustainable if you are happy because someone died. For example, if you are happy because someone got fired at work, that's not it's not going to sustain your joy. It's not. But I'm trying to show you that you just question your emotion, you question the emotion. So this is exactly what you do even in the house, and you want to everybody to really be doing that in the house, so that you help each other. You are down and the next person and more a better state of mind, then we can help you maintain the calm and the peace at home. So basically that's how you process an emotion. So I want to go on with now the tools that you really need to be able to process these emotions. The first one being, self-knowledge, self-awareness, knowing yourself deeper than just, that you are Bonolo Phalaagae. Knowing yourself much more deeper than that, meaning that you need to also understand or have a value system, one that you design, where it's not just for me. You are aware of it, or what are your core values as a person? What are your spiritual values? What are your mental values? What are your social values? What are your financial values? What are your career values? What are your family values? What are your physical values? Your self-image, your traits, your motives. Who are you? The more you know yourself, the more you understand yourself, the more you can deal with your emotions and emotions of other people. Talking about a value system, this is going to be very, very important, because you are not only going to be clear with your values when even your family members during this time of extreme social distancing, you need to be clear with your values to each other, and see if you share values. If not, see how you align, because at the end of the day, we are here together. We are stuck in one place. We have to share the space, and it's rough out there. So this place, this one place where you are, your home, should be the one place that you can be peaceful at. So we have to understand deeply what our values are and the values of other people. I like what Benjamin Franklin said. There are 3 things that are extremely hard: steal, a diamond and to know oneself. And it's one of the hardest things to know yourself. It's even harder when you deny that you are this person. I know you catch yourself. I know people who really started their personal development journeys, they catch themselves doing things that they're not supposed to do. And when you do, it's either you accept or I messed up, or you deny, or then I'm denying, and then you don't grow. So it can be difficult, but it's doable, and it's very, very important. The second thing that I would like to share for you as a tool is staying present. I saw Memo Pakela share, you know, as you shared, Mem, about your active break on the treadmill, and you mentioned where it helps you stay present. You see, when you are present, when you are in the moment, not thinking about anything in your past, not projecting yourself into your future, when you are present, you can never be stressed out. When you are present, you are right there in the moment, and you can think from that point, that state, and think rationally, and even, you know, identify your emotions accurately. Shama said the human mind and news media work on the same principle, being unsatisfied with the past, worried about the future, ignorant about the present moment. So we need to be present. We need to be in the moment. When we are home, I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to say stuck at home, but some people I know, they feel like they're stuck at home. When we are home like this, we need to be present. If we are going to, you know, be on our phones and not have those times when we can, you know, kind of connect and bond and chat and, you know, laugh together, play together and everything, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a very, very difficult time. Okay. So one of the ways in which you can do that is, you know, because you have some belief systems, you'd want to interrogate those belief systems and, you know, check what the things that you say you believe in, are they really your beliefs or you inherited them? And when you don't, when you have your own belief system, you can be present, you can enjoy the moment. You don't care much about, you know, the past and what might go wrong and everything. You have this belief and you move with that in the moment. So we have to enjoy. And maybe for some, you might find your purpose, you might find your new hobby, you might find, you might increase your creativity levels around this time. So we need to be present. We need to be present. I can't overemphasize that. It's one of the things when I realize that, you know, I'm always in my 10 years, you know, ahead, or sometimes I go back. And then I started, you know, to really try and be present more. One of the first ways I did it was, you know, to concentrate on my breath for about 5 minutes, just concentrating on my breathing for about 5 minutes. But, you know, I kept losing myself. I would go, you know, the first minute, but, you know, as time went by, as I did that often, I realized I could actually, you know, concentrate in my breathing for 5 minutes and even more. And whenever I want to go back into my past is when I want to, you know, maybe pick certain lessons. And whenever I project myself into my 5, 10, 15, 20 years, it's when I really am doing my plans and, you know, I'm actually working on something. Otherwise, I try and be present. The other tool that I can give you is to ensure that you don't give away your power. To ensure that you don't give away your power. Circumstances, events, other people, you know, this situation, all these are external influences, you know. All these are external. So these external factors can create any of the external influence depending on the power of the internal force. So you want to continue to own, you know, your time. You want to continue to own your space. You want to continue to regulate yourself. You want to continue to move gas speed. So if you want to increase it, you want to increase it, but don't ever give away your power to other people to say, I did this because of the next person or this situation, you know. Another tool is to adapt, adaptation. Many of us are not able to adapt, and you don't just adapt, you adapt with purpose, you know, purposefully. You know, change is inevitable. I mean, who would have thought that at this time, 2020, I know we had plans, we had beautiful things that we were hoping for. I know we have projects that we wanted to start or had started. Change is inevitable. So we have to adapt. Every time we have to adapt and, you know, look at what is going on and, you know, adjust and, you know, move on, you know, move on. Another tool, have options. I think I've said this earlier on. Have options, have tools. Whenever you feel like you don't have options, sit down and, you know, sit down and maybe take a deep breath, because there is no way you have no options at all. You just may not see them, but sit down, take a deep breath and, you know, locate your options. Roosevelt said there are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. So in exploring your options, there is what I would love to call you know, your emotional bag, your emotional toolbox, your emotional whatever. I don't know what you're going to call it from today, but it's your bag where you deposit your skills, your tools that helps you deal with the different emotions as we go on with life, as we endure this extreme social distancing. So Larry Winget, nobody ever wrote a plan to be broke, fat, lazy, or stupid. Those things are what happens when you don't have a plan. So tool number one, in your bag, in your emotional toolbox, in your emotional bag, have a plan. Have a plan. Have a plan to tackle challenges. In this case, no one really was prepared. No one was prepared. But when it happened, there are families out there who actually sat down, who actually called meetings and sat down and discussed how they are going to do things, how they are going to go about this situation. What did you do? Don't wait for challenges and then you can start planning. You know, chances of coming up with a sound plan are significantly reduced when you are having challenges, you are in a bad space, because you are also experiencing a diminishing focus, as I said earlier. So the other tool that you can put in your bag is choosing your situations. How do you choose situations? People always believe, oh no, things just happen. That's true. But that ways you can choose your situation and reduce the number of things that just happen. Planning ahead is one of those things. You know, setting goals is one of your ways of, you know what you want to experience in life. You know, when you are choosing your situation or when you're planning ahead, when you're setting your goals, it's because you know what you want to experience in life. And you'll definitely experience other things that you didn't intend to experience, But most times when you have a plan, most times when you have goals, when you've defined your purpose, when you have your personal vision clear to you, when you've set boundaries, you know most of what you'll experience in life. Now, a contrary situation comes in, change it somehow. This is one of the times when a contrary situation has hit us. What do we need to do? We need to change the situation somehow. We can do that with, see how our plan has been, what we can work with, what new things to introduce, what new values we can, adopt. And around this time, there's so much alteration to our, social, like our behaviors, like our normal behaviors, our normal, everything is so altered around this time. We can't touch anymore. We like keep some distance. What is this? Change your situation where you can. You can avoid those situations that you don't want. You can avoid them, or you can disengage from them. So choice is voluntary or involuntary. Either way you are choosing. Either way you are choosing. So choose your situation. Try and choose your situation. That's it. That's one of the tools that you can use. Another tool is, around this time, you'd want to team up with people by Nahore. They may be, coping with the situation. A tribe like this one, Game Changers, what Malicha is doing. This is so beautiful. This is one of the ways we can cope with the situation. Team up with people that can be there, show up, show up and, be encouraged, be motivated, be led, as you lead yourself. So it's a good thing that we can meet in this manner. Don't fall back on yourself. I love what Nelson Mandela said. As I walked out the door towards my freedom, I knew that if I did not leave all the anger, hatred, and bitterness behind, that I would still be in prison. You see. So get out of distractions as soon as possible. Get out of distractions as soon as possible. Get out of those negative emotions as soon as possible. At home, as conflict is so inevitable, because we are all home for so long, and we don't want to be home. Some don't want to be home. Get out of those ugly situations. Get out of the conflicts that are going to be coming, arise. Get out of it quite quickly, and maintain the peace. As we endure the extreme social distancing, you want to also recharge. You want to recharge your batteries. You want to remain sane. You want to keep your sanity. You want to still be yourself. Many people, because now we are here, there are many people who are thinking about post extreme social distancing, post lockdown. How are people going to be on the other side? So keep your energy levels, recharge even during this time. Have your me time, do your meditations, whatever works for you, your prayers, exercise, eat healthy. This is a good time for us to eat healthy, because now we can prepare our meals. I believe we have time to prepare our meals. Prepare your meals so you know what you've added, what you are eating. Energy management, manage your energy. Manage your energy. Don't let your energy levels go down. Most of us moved from 100% activity to about 20%. Don't go down there. Maintain activity so that you don't lose your momentum and you don't lose your energy. So energy management is very important around this time. Detox, rehydrate, have restorative sleep. Have restorative sleep. This is not a time to now change your sleeping patterns. Restorative sleep is not lying on your bed, closing your eyes, and maybe snoring or something. It's sleep, it's quality sleep where you were able to also quieten your mind to allow yourself, your body, mind, and soul to totally rest and get that restorative sleep. Enjoy nature. I don't know if there's that trees in your yard, stones, whatever is there, but I'm sure there is soil in your yard somewhere. So enjoy. Nature can be good. You know, nature can be good. You can go out to that tree and maybe unpluck a few leaves and just look at them, see the veins through the leaves, whatever. Just get something that, you know, you can enjoy. Get those free gadgets days. If we spend more time on you know, our gadgets, especially social media and, you know, news, you know, about updates about our current situation and everything, that could actually affect us. So as you recharge, avoid, you know, information overload. So yeah, and you know, be happy, you know, be happy, have gratitude, and make use of this time that we have. And I want to kind of wrap up. And, you know, I want to, as I wrap up, I want to say, you know, look at, you know, what you've achieved so far. Look at where you are. Look at, you know, celebrate your life, celebrate yourself. You know, Christopher Reeve, I think a hero is an ordinary individual who finds strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles. It's not about having achieved everything that you set out to achieve, but it's also being right there, being in the journey and fighting, pushing, you know, persevering. Celebrate those moments and, you know, just enjoy life. As I close, I want to quote Oscar Wilde, who said, "A man who is a master of himself can end a sorrow as easily as he can invent a pleasure." I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. I want to use them, to enjoy them, and to dominate them. I wish you the best. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to interact with you. I think this is okay. This is going to be a recorded session, so I would like to interact with you as we share this. Put in your comments there. I'll be available and make time to interact with you later.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bonolo. You have really said a mouthful, and I'm not going to be like one of those MCs who like to just spoil the presenter's content. So I try to interpret it in a better way than what they actually said. You know, I normally listen as people just mess up and try to bring in their own perspective and everything, not just summarize. So I'm not going to even try to summarize it because, like I mentioned, we are going to have a session tomorrow, which is Saturday, the 11th of April at 9 a.m. via Zoom, where we will engage. You will ask questions. You will engage with Bonolo. You will engage with me. You know, even in general, based on the past days in which we have been having these sessions, what's going on. So you'll have an opportunity to engage with Bonolo and ask her questions if you want. But for now, what you can do is you can share your comments, your insights, and your aha moments below this video recording, you know. And if you've got questions, it will even be better to ask Bonolo questions below this video so that tomorrow, when she comes into the live Zoom session, then she knows what she's going to address. But I just want to thank you, Bonolo, and say thank you so much for this informative session. I was busy taking notes, you know me, and writing. Yes, I was busy taking notes and really writing. And I was seeing a lot of overlap and a lot of areas where people could even develop and grow based on what we have just shared. If only they get into use. If only they manage their emotions when they are watching it. Because I know they're bound to be triggered. And as a coach, I normally catch people when they're being triggered. And I also catch myself when I'm being triggered. And I normally ask people who get emotional, maybe when you say something and they say, you were insensitive, you hurt them, I normally ask them, why is what I said triggering you? Because as I know that this is meeting an underlying condition that is lack of self-worth, lack of self-belief, or it hits something that you are saying to yourself, but you are saying it to me because I just acted as a trigger. I triggered it, I triggered it, but I did not make you feel the way that you are feeling. It's
exactly
just a trigger. So it's interesting so that people could come and engage and hear from you. And I could have done this, Bonolo. With my experience, I could teach on this. But sometimes I always say that wear all the hats at the same time. And sometimes even your audience needs to hear from someone so that they can appreciate something. Because I'm a forward person who says things the way they are. I know that a lot of time people feel like I've made them feel something, but deep down I know that no one can make you feel something without your permission, so it means it means it has hit the chord. It has hit something that you have long needed to address, but you were just ignoring and not distracting it. So I look forward to tomorrow's session, and I'm praying that the internet will praying that the internet will behave tomorrow and we can get more registered. So we will share the Zoom link, and Faith, our client care specialist, will also come here on the Facebook group and share with you a test link so that if you have never been on Zoom before, you can get the instructions of how to download Zoom and actually get into a test with her, and she will teach you how to mute yourself and unmute yourself, ask your questions. If we are doing it in a webinar setup, then you can still do that. So, but I think I want us to do it in a meeting setup so that we can actually see some of you and engage. And that's important for you to know how to operate this, because if we are many and we are not muted, it can become chaos here. Otherwise, thank you so much, Bonolo. And I sincerely apologize to all of you game changers for the the mix-up that happened this morning, the internet failing us. But like I mentioned, when things don't work out, don't change the goal, just change the plan. So that's exactly what we have done. The goal was to get Bonolo to share with you about the importance of managing emotions and what emotions are and strategies that we could use. And we couldn't do it via a live stream, but we have found another way of doing it so that you can still benefit from the information. So thank you so much, Bonolo, and thank you, Game Changers, for watching. I look forward to seeing you on the Zoom call.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.